I'd be so excited for the first meeting for him to ask me if he could choke me out. That came out a lot gayer than I meant it.
Yeah, a little lot.
It absolutely
100%.
did. Was a reference to his first meeting with
That's
Shapiro
going at the beginning of this episode.
When things are wrong, I'll be by your side. Even when you want to cry.
Stop playing with the camera. There we go. We don't have proper cameramen, so we have these three-legged things.
Yes.
To manage the cameras. They're not always the best. There we go. Hey, hi, welcome. We are recording this the day after
The election.
election day. So if anything pertinent happens, we'll mention it, but maybe we won't because this won't come out right away. So I don't know. I'm running on about 2 hours of sleep and at least 3 quarts of Dr. Pepper.
At least.
Yeah. And we're happy. Just happy to be here. Yeah.
Yeah. So happy.
So happy. So election stuff, it's not looking promising for Trump, but it's also looking ish-y.
E.
Emphasis on the ish. There was some water line that broke in a Georgia polling place where they had a bunch of votes stored away. So no, they won't be able to count those for a while. Arizona had some clerical errors and was handing out Sharpies for people to mark their ballots with that the machine can't read. What else? Wisconsin, Michigan, and Arizona too, right? Got a weird spike in Joe Biden things, and
Arizona got a little bit of one, not as much as the others, but
they all happened at about the same time while everyone was sleeping.
yeah.
And one explanation I saw was essentially boiled down to we realized an error was made, and so we corrected ourselves and fixed our error. So trust us on fixing our error.
Right.
Oh, okay. I guess.
We investigated ourselves and found that we weren't guilty.
Oh, case closed.
Case closed. Welcome to the FBI.
Welcome to the FBI. Pretty much.
Yeah, I think it's really funny. It's one of the things that I thought was hilarious was the Trump trucks and the Biden bus.
Oh,
and,
yes.
And everybody's so relieved that the FBI is investigating what happened. I'm like, what are they going to do? Watch all the Twitter videos that you've already seen and talk to their supervisor? Like, they don't have any other information than what you have.
Uh-huh.
So what exactly are they going to do about it? Because if you watch the videos, if you watch the full cuts of the videos, you can see very clearly there's only 2 vehicles that actually interact with each other in that entire thing. And it's a white SUV and a Trump truck. And the white SUV is moving into the far right lane where the Trump truck is and pushing him off of the road. And he pushes her right back into her lane.
So you mean,
and then keeps going.
So you admit that the Trumpers were trying to run the bus off the road?
Yes, no, not at all.
Well, you just said that the car was
Yeah, the
them off
SUV
road.
was pushing the Trump truck
Right.
off of the road.
The Trump SUV was pushing.
No, the
bus.
Biden SUV was pushing the Trump truck off of the road. And the Trump truck pushed the SUV back into its own lane.
See, I think you're getting it mixed up.
Nope,
The bus
I'm not.
was pushed
No,
off.
the bus wasn't touched.
But they said the bus was pushed
The
off.
the bus was not pushed off. There were no attempts to push the bus off of the road. There were attempts to slow the bus down at one point after the SUV tried to run the Trump truck off the road, but
So they
that
were
didn't go
trying to run
anywhere.
the bus off the road.
no.
But they're slowing it down, pushing it,
That's
forcing it to go.
you don't have to push it to you get in front of it and slow. It doesn't require it to go off the road.
It's annoying.
Yeah.
They were trying to push it
all around. The entire situation, all angles, all sides is retarded.
Uh-huh. Yeah. They're on-
Leave the damn bus alone.
Yeah. It's even more frustrating because they make this claim. He's running him off the road. It's like, all right, show us the video. All of you were taking a video. Show us the video.
Right.
It's just like the people, the celebrities and stuff. Was it Cardi B or whatever had this emotional breakdown after escaping Trump supporters and bawling and wailing into her phone as she's driving, of barely being able to escape, and she felt for her life. And, you know, she only thought to start recording that when she wasn't anywhere nearby the incident that she says happened.
Alleged incident.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Allegedly.
Yeah. It was
I mean, she should be able to receive free Batacath care.
Is that before or after the True Love?
That was great. I heard that that after that particular interview, Biden's polling went through the roof with the Pentecostals
for
his- speaking
his
in
ability
tongues.
to speak in tongues. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see that. I can see that.
Thank
All
you,
right,
Babylon B.
That might be a little Pentecostal too late, but there was so one thing I'm noticing from all this stuff it was amazing how these nonpartisan news sources, unbiased news sources, started to get a little depressed as the night wore on. Almost as if their predictions of a 12% win of Biden wasn't actually going to happen.
Oh, you mean like when they lost Florida that they were expecting to win, and Georgia wasn't quite the home run for Biden that they were hoping it would be?
Something like that, you could say. I apparently closed all. There we go.
and back in the day, 12 hours ago when Donald Trump was leading in Pennsylvania by 500,000 votes.
Yeah, or even I believe it was around midnight Mountain Time. Donald Trump was on a clear path to 300 plus electoral votes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's all the mail-in votes that they still need to count. And they should already count them.
Should have.
Well, it's a special thing. No, the state still has laws that they should be counted by a certain time, and
Well, some of them, actually, a few of them, I believe Pennsylvania actually has a law that they cannot be counted until election day with the rest of the ballot.
Which
So-
fine, whatever. You want to cram all that work on yourself, go for it.
Right.
And part of that makes sense of you don't want to have this preliminary count and then candidates get ideas of where to maybe inject a little fraud or something.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you mean like what might happen if you were to, say, count the majority of the country for several hours and then just decide to stop counting overnight and in the case of maybe one or two states for a day or so, and then start back up counting once you've had time to regroup?
I mean, yeah, that's quite the specific hypothetical, but yeah.
Yeah, it's specific because it's what just happened.
Oh,
I'm just saying.
Is it? Is it?
Yeah, you know Nevada didn't count a single ballot today, right? They have been the exact same number since 11 o'clock last night.
Well, I mean, Nevada is the state that always sleeps.
Nevada is the dark horse in this race. Is that?
Yeah,
they're holding it out just in case there's a hinky win somewhere.
They got their sleepy time. They got to get their sleepy time.
Right.
Oh yeah, and then Pennsylvania, they're allowed to still receive mail-in votes up to 10 days after.
Oh yeah, yeah, and not just receive mail-in votes up to 10 days after, but mail-in votes that have been postmarked after election day
Or
up
not
to 10 days after,
or not even postmarked at all.
Yeah, and I believe in Pennsylvania the signatures don't even have to match.
Oh. So both candidates will be watching that closely.
Well, I mean, it's
the next
obvious that they've
couple
already
weeks.
started counting those mail-in votes because the lead for Trump went from 10% to
15, actually. He was up by 17.
he was
At
up by
one
17
point.
points.
At one point.
Yeah,
he
it
was up
went
by
from
17.
that to he is now up by
3-ish, 4.
3.1.
Yeah. 3 or
No. Yeah, 3.1.
Yeah.
3.1 points.
Oh.
193,000 votes.
Yeah. It's fun. This is fun. It's good. It's good. It was fascinating to me that Arizona was called after the first vote was cast. Essentially. Fox News.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have something like Alaska that's half of the votes are cast and Donald Trump has twice the votes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
I don't know where that one's going to go.
62 to 33 right now, 50% reporting.
I mean, Alaska's such a wishy-washy swing state.
Yeah, Alaska's such a swing state that just maybe,
Just maybe.
just maybe,
Just might, could,
those
maybe not.
3 electoral votes for the remaining 6 people might go somewhere other than Trump.
So you're saying there's a chance. Yeah.
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 You magnificent bastard, I read your book!
Yeah. Of course, we knew something like this could happen because we read a fun little document a few weeks ago, the Transition Integrity Project, where they kind of outlined something like this happening in one of the scenarios. And along with that, with each scenario, even with Biden winning, was protests and riots in the streets. And we have protests and riots in the streets. Huh.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. And one thing I'm noticing a lot with this is on the more conservative, talk showy type conservatives is they're they're concerned about this race, not necessarily because Trump is going to lose. They're concerned about this race because there's some weird stuff happening that seems to always go in favor of Biden in all of this. And then the voting for these people, of people I've interacted with, people that are saying they're voting for Trump, they can rattle off policies and core issues that his actions support. And then people that don't want to vote for Trump / are voting for Biden, they talk about how Trump is mean and not presidential and something else emotion-based.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you continue, I'm going to go out on a limb here. If you continuously do actions based off of emotion, you're going to turn into an emotional wreck.
Yeah, that's about right. Yep.
So if, say, the populace of a country continues to vote emotionally, the country is going to turn into an emotional wreck.
Yeah.
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 And there's certain ideologies that feed off of emotion being your core source of reason, and they're not exactly fun.
Yeah. Yeah. It's great.
Marxism.
It's great. It's great. This is great.
It's great. It's good. It's fun.
great. It's good.
It's good. It's
Yeah.
good. It's good.
Good. It's good. We're good. Good.
Yeah. And I know this is entertaining to listen to because, like I said, I got 2 hours of sleep. Mike probably got 4 hours of sleep.
Yeah, probably right about there.
Yeah. So he's more rested than I am.
Yeah. I'm a little out of it.
And I'm trying. I've been trying desperately to find news other than election stuff to talk about because blah. And
Everybody's already heard all the election news.
Yeah.
It's
everyone's heard it.
not like there's anything new going on right now that we could talk about for the news.
There's not. This is interesting.
What's interesting?
So I was talking to. I saw this headline. And it reminded me of a friend of mine. I was talking to last night. I think this morning, and they were asking me about what is going to happen because they know I'm a little bit more informed than a lay person maybe on things going on. So they asked me what's going to happen with if Biden wins, what's the next move and all that. And I said, well,
Depends on whether or not we win the Senate.
it depends on that, but mostly he was asking more so on just Biden specifically because last night was not good for him gaff-wise. And this morning was not good for him gaff-wise, where he mixed up his granddaughter with his son and then somebody else and then somebody else.
Oh, I
finally
missed
figured
that
out.
one. Huh.
Yeah, and tried to introduce her to everyone that gathered around his house, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, this is Beau Biden. He was is on the Delaware Senate. He wasn't on Delaware Senate. He was the AG for Delaware.
Well, I mean, at least he got the state right.
I mean, yeah, I would hope so. He's living there.
Well, I mean, yeah, you saw what he did with the jacket that he was wearing the other day, right?
Probably.
He's in Philadelphia, and
I'm
repping Philadelphia. Here I am. Look at me. I got my Eagles jacket on.
was.
It was the Delaware Blue Hens jacket that he was actually wearing at the time.
So
So
so close.
nothing surprises me anymore.
But yeah, that's basically what my friend was inquiring to me about with that. And I said, well, there's a few scenarios. Joe Biden somehow keeps it all together and continues on to be whatever mildly racist president he turns out to be, or extremely racist. I don't know. Somewhere in there. And then the other option is, like we've mentioned before, the Democrats, Nancy Pelosi wanted to invoke Article 20, the 25th Amendment, Article 25, the 25th Amendment to try to get Trump impeached or out of office because of mental decline or health reasons.
Except it doesn't make sense that it was for him, because you still have to have the
Vice
VP
president
sign off on that.
And you had an election
And
coming up that you're
There's
sure to win.
no way that Pence signs off on anything they put forward that way.
No.
So
that's a interesting one. And then you have, I've been trying to find this headline, and if I find it, I'll attach it. If I don't find it, then take it with a grain of salt. But there's this headline that I became aware of that was from ABC News or NBC News or something C News.
CNN, C-SPAN, CBS,
there was a C
ABC.
involved. A C was involved. It could have been the North Sea or the South Sea. It's
The Red Sea, maybe the Dead Sea.
A C was involved.
Was it the Seven Seas?
It probably was the 7 Seas. It's just C.
All of them combined.
There's a sea and ocean, so it could have been an ocean. Anyway, but it came out at about 3:30 in the morning, 2:30 in the morning, depending on which time zone you're in. I think it was about 3:30 Eastern. I think. But it said something about we should probably give a serious inquiry into Joe Biden's foreign dealings and his son's company. Now, when everyone's asleep in the middle of counting votes, now we should have a serious inquiry about whether or not Joe Biden abused his position of vice president to enrich himself and his family. Now we should figure that out, which leads into the, I guess, theory that this is out there now. There's tens of thousands of emails for the Hunter Biden stuff, and now there's 3 laptops that are known.
3 of them now.
Yes, there's 3. There's the supposedly 3. There's the one that the New York Post initially revealed from the hardware store, the computer repair store. Ukraine says that they have one. And the third one is from the DEA, Drug Enforcement Association, or whatever, the administration. So the DEA did a drug raid on a psych.
Psycho the rapist?
Sure.
Okay.
Because actually this psychiatrist was sexually exploiting their clients, as well as peddling drugs via his psychiatrist signature.
License?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So the DEA did a raid on his stuffs, and in his stuffs they found a laptop belonging to Hunter Biden. It was completely unrelated to the Hunter Biden stuff. They weren't trying to find it at all. They were just there for a drug raid, and that was among the contents in the drug raid. So now the DEA is in possession of a laptop that belongs to Hunter Biden that will most likely show more of those emails confirming the first set of emails and laptop stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
so here's a scenario.
along those lines, I actually also heard today that Hunter bought a house in Oregon this morning. So
Did he?
that's what I heard through the grapevine. I don't know why he would buy a house in Oregon, but sorry, I got a little something in my nose. It's itching.
Something. You have any idea the street value of this mountain? That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah.
All
right then.
But so my idea around this, my theory, if you will, conspiracy. Someone's got to take the fall for all this, because it's pretty incriminating. And Joe Biden seems to be more of a shell that people think Joe Biden isn't Trump, so he's this nice guy. He's this great guy. He's really good. What's his policy? I don't know. He's a nice guy.
He's a shell corporation. That's what he is.
Because that's what he uses.
Oh. Bazinga!
But see if you agree with this. The Joe Biden's in office.
Mm-hmm.
More of this Biden stuff comes out because he's president now, so they have to talk about
so
it.
they have to talk about it. Yeah.
He can't hide in his basement anymore because he's at the White House where the press is 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
And so this stuff comes out a little bit more, and the press, in an effort to regain some sense of trustworthiness to the viewers of, we're going to be critical of Biden too. Going to start with some softball questions and see how it takes, and then from there they'll throw some harder questions at him and Hunter and whoever else is involved. Adam Schiff. And it'll get to the point where Democrats might start getting worried that they might start asking them questions about how they're making millions of dollars. And so they, in an effort to nip it in the bud, they take Biden to impeachment hearings for abusing power as vice president and potentially as president or something like that, or even just a hearing for some sort of crime.
Mm-hmm.
Biden either gets slapped for it and he steps down, or he just resigns to
save face. And not get prosecuted.
Right. So then Kamala Harris is now president. In both cases, Kamala Harris is now president. She picks whoever.
We all know this has been their end game since the beginning. They
Right.
want Harris in office.
Right. So, in all of these things, would not be surprised if it all happens in the first term of Biden. Would not be surprised.
It wouldn't surprise me if it happens within the first 6 months of Biden.
Right.
I mean, they have Harris 2021 stickers and things that have been passed around and different stuff like that. So,
Yeah. And you have them gaffing of accidentally putting Harris's name before Biden.
oh, and the gaffing of we're pleased to welcome the future president of the United States, Kamala Harris. Yeah, that's happened. Was it 5 times now?
At least 2.
Yep.
So I hope you really like Kamala Harris. Those of you that might have voted for Biden because Orange Man bad.
Camel the Harris. I mean,
Commie Harris.
Commie Harris. Commie here is.
Comma Chameleon Harris.
Something like that.
Yeah.
We got to get all this out now, because if they actually win, it'll become illegal to badmouth the.
This will be shut down real fast.
The government. We're done. We're closing up shop. We gotta go.
If you want to find us, we are in the basement of a pizza parlor in California.
Yes, but only on Tuesday nights.
Only on Tuesday night. Well, Thursday nights.
Thursday nights.
Thursday.
Right.
We switched it. We did do Tuesdays. Now it's Thursdays.
Right.
Thursday nights. Basement, pizza parlor, California.
Mm-hmm.
usually around 5, 6 o'clock is when we kind of gather.
But that's 5 or 6 o'clock Northeastern time.
Northeastern, yep. Mm-hmm. Which is about a half hour ahead of Mountain. We're gonna die. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm here for another 30 minutes.
At least.
So yes, that's scenario 2, and there's a third scenario I thought of. I'm trying to remember what it was, but I can't. But it involves Biden stepping down, and Biden won't be extremist enough for the extremists that have taken over the Progressive Party, and will
The ones rioting and looting in D.C. already, or
yeah, and the one that was
okay.
arrested for planning to assassinate Joe Biden because he wasn't as progressive as Bernie Sanders, whom the assassin supported. But you don't see that in the news. I wonder why.
No idea.
Huh.
Doesn't make any sense to me.
He went the way of the Michigan governor kidnapping attempt. Just kind of disappeared once they found out who he supported.
Interesting.
Interessant.
You know, and this is what really gets me about everybody that's saying like it's people on both sides doing it. It's people on both sides doing it, right?
Bolshevik.
Because if it was people on both sides doing it, we would hear names, we would hear groups, we would hear all these things.
The Proud Boys.
Every single time that anything happened, we would hear it for weeks.
Uh-huh.
You remember the last time you read an article where that didn't turn out being a Biden or Bernie supporter?
Yeah, it was quarter after never.
like no, seriously, like come up, name one in the last little bit. Well, we have how many of the others? We have, what are we at, 4 or 5 now? More if you count all the Antifa riots and BLM protests. Kyle Rittenhouse doesn't count because that's self-defense.
Yeah, but he shouldn't have been there.
Yeah, but it was self-defense.
But he shouldn't have been
Doesn't matter. Nobody should have been there. It was self-defense.
there. Fine, if nobody's supposed to be there. Can't just go to a town all higgledy-piggledy and destroy it? What's wrong with that?
You can't leave your state and go to another state and burn down a shop and then complain when you get shot by somebody who came from out of state to defend the shop.
You may think you've won with your superior logic and moral high ground.
Like, seriously, though, like they throw out these names like Proud Boys and stuff like that. Give me one actual article instance of the Proud Boys committing something like Antifa has been doing in Seattle and all these other places. Show me on the doll where they touched you.
It's a big America-shaped doll.
I'm gonna get one of those someday. I'm gonna have a giant stuffed America.
Just right.
Show me on the doll where he
here.
touched you.
Right here. Yeah, you can't.
And it's almost always going to be Michigan, Washington, Oregon, or New York, or California.
I will say, you will find articles with Proud Boys or whoever right-wing, quote, extremist group in some sort of violent thing. And I'm willing to bet every time you see that where, well, Proud Boys person pulled a gun on Biden supporter, whatever, and BLM supporter.
Proud Boy leader stabs man.
Oh, and then you read further down past the headline, and if it's not in the core story, it'll be in an edit later
At the bottom
that says, update, person that gun was pulled on tried to stab another person, or something like that.
Right. That's actually a legit story in, was that Seattle? Or was it Detroit? The lady, Betty, I'll look up the story.
All right, you look up the story.
It was Beverly, Betty, something.
Betty Beverly. And then you have at least 3 instances where a Trump supporter was shot and killed because they had a red hat on or something like that.
Oh, it was DC.
Oh, DC. Yeah.
Wait, weren't the Proud Boys a misogynistic, like men only thing?
White supremacists, yes.
Huh. Well, because I mean, I know that their like head guy is black, but so this is from DC, 3 men and 1 woman who identify as members of the Proud Boys group were stabbed near the White House. Huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stabbed and hospitalized, according to police, but their injuries are not believed to be life-threatening.
Good.
So there's that. At least it wasn't. Yeah. So the Proud Boys leader, Enrique. Gosh, wow.
Enrique.
Rafiki.
There it is.
Enrique Tario.
That's the whitest white name I've ever whited before.
Was one of the men that was injured. And the woman was Bevelyn Betty. That's where I couldn't figure out that it was that one.
All right.
Bevelyn, Bevelyn. I think it's Betty. It might be Beatty. Beatty. Betty, Beatty,
I don't know.
Betty.
I don't know.
Who gained notoriety after dumping paint over a Black Lives Matter mural outside Trump Tower, was also reportedly hurt.
Well, that right there is hate speech.
But is it?
But is it? And that's
Because
not protected.
if you look up Bevelyn Betty, she's black. So I thought that they were exempt from race. I thought black people couldn't be
She's
racist.
just blinded by white supremacists.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just checking.
See,
just checking.
now it makes sense.
But yeah, she was stabbed, and so was Enrique apparently, and one other male that they didn't identify.
You know what's also fun? In
What?
most of these instances, it is a white person that's doing the attacking.
Yeah,
And
it was an
it's-
Antifa member.
And it's
That
usually
did it, by
a
the way.
person of color that gets attacked.
I think it was Black Lives Matter that did this one. I think there was a video. Let me see if I can find it.
A video. Oh. Speaking of videos, I was watching the one of the many things I had pulled up was The Blaze. So I had The Blaze, CNN, Politico, a good mix of everything and everyone. And at one point on The Blaze, they were talking to one of their field reporters in D.C., and he was doing a live Skype thing with them while on the streets as Antifa showed up on the streets in D.C. And he was going up the street, talking to him, but kind of quietly, and moving away from Antifa because he said that they're trying to locate him. And one thing Antifa does, one thing that is true about Antifa every time is they don't like being recorded. They find people that are recording. If it's not one of their press people, they track them down and they beat them up or force them out or whatever. And they'll hold up umbrellas and things like that to hide their faces and whatever as they surround the reporter. And that's what they were doing to this reporter, Elijah Schaefer. You can go to his stuff and you'll find the videos of him doing that, and we'll probably post the links if we can find the links. We're super ill prepared, but we also didn't know exactly where we'd go with this. But he's going through the streets, and you can see the Antifa protesters. They were protesters at that time. They were protesting. It was quickly turning into not protests, riots, because they spotted him and they started moving towards him. You'd see him pop up their umbrellas facing him as they start to close around him. And he ends the Skype call pretty abruptly, saying he's got to go. And him and his team start working their way out of there. And shortly after that, a tweet comes up from someone in that area saying they're talking to 20 people on the ground to try to locate Elijah Schaffer, and they tag his Twitter handle to try to find Elijah Schaffer, and when the police aren't looking, we'll have to assassinate him.
Yep.
Cool. That's
Fun stuff.
because how dare you show what it is that we're doing? How dare you show our mostly peaceful protest?
Right. I just sent you the video for the Bevelin.
Oh, Bevelin.
It was Antifa, by the way.
Was Antifa. So it was a bunch of handful of college-age white kids who think they're entitled to something. And if I was prepared, I'd already have this pulled up. Hey, Bevelin. Stop it. Stop it. This video may be inappropriate for some users. Oh.
It is pretty graphics, just warning
All right,
for everybody.
so heads up if you're watching and or listening, it might not be all that fun to listen to. I understand and wish to proceed.
Whoa, 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 hey! Black Lives Matter over here. Hey. Hey.
So yeah, they just swarm them and start.
Yeah, that's
throwing
where she got
punches.
stabbed, right there.
Yep.
That dude ran up. She was the one in the gray sweatshirt. Dude ran up behind her and stabbed her.
Gotta help him.
He's got
I know, I'm
cut on
trying
his
to help
hand, it looks like, or
And
ear.
his face. Yeah.
Oh, and Washington, D.C., it is illegal to conceal carry unless you have an extremely special permit that's almost impossible to get.
Yeah, girl, he tried to stab you.
Didn't try. He actually did it. Yeah, you're bleeding everywhere. Look at that.
Bevelin Beatty right now.
Yeah.
They just stabbed Bevelin Beatty.
This is where it gets really awesome. If you watch here as they walk back
I got him on camera.
towards where the fight was, that is blood all
All on
over
the
the
ground.
sidewalk
Yep.
from this this group that attacked them.
Words that we probably shouldn't say to describe them.
Jeremy, get back over here. Jeremy, don't go over there by yourself. Jeremy, no.
Don't do it, Jeremy.
Don't do it, Jeremy! Jeremy, come back! Jeremy!
We're
We just
laughing,
got
but
jumped by
seriously,
Black
don't.
Lives Matter.
No,
And they
really.
just stabbed Bevelin Beatty.
So
You guys,
Beatty,
get out there.
Beatty,
He's
it's
going
Beatty.
by
That's how you
himself.
say it.
He's going by himself.
So that was the
Where is
important
it?
part of the video that
So yeah,
I
mostly
had seen
peaceful.
earlier, but
Antifa, remember, Antifa is just an idea. It's a myth. It's whatever Jerry Nadler called it. Actually, I want to find that now. Where are you, Jerry? You. Fun fact, if you type in Jerry Nadler, the first suggestion is Jerry Nadler pants.
jeez.
Antifa myth. Antifa myth. Yeah. Yeah.
There's violence across the whole country. Do you disavow the violence from Antifa that's happening in Portland right now?
That's a myth that's being spread only in Washington, D.C.
About Antifa in Portland?
Yes.
Sir, there's videos everywhere online.
It's a
There's
myth
fires
being
and
spread
riots. There's
only
people
in
throwing
Washington,
fireworks
D.C.
at,
Huh.
Federal
This was
officers.
Interesting.
back in,
Look online.
Oh, wait.
It's
Well,
crazy, Mr. Nadler.
this was back in July.
Yeah.
July.
And I mean it's spread everywhere. We had an Antifa attack in Salt Lake last night.
Yeah.
There was a truck with Trump flags on it driving past one of the polling stations
Salt Lake,
here
California.
in
by
Salt
the way.
Lake.
Salt Lake, California.
You're right, Salt Lake, California, and had group of Antifa went and busted out the windows and were trying to attack the guy in the truck, and he took off and
What surprises me
Like, how do you?
is how extremely lucky they are they didn't get shot. Because Utah, you can carry all you want. If you can conceal it, you can carry it.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that,
Well, you have to have a permit to conceal carry
legally. Or you can open carry.
Or you can open carry.
whatever you want.
Whatever you
so
want.
long as it's 3 steps away from being fired.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the 3 steps being draw, cock, aim, right? You have to carry 1 knot in the chamber. That's the basic thing. You have to draw, you have to chamber, and then
Draw.
you have to pull.
Draw, chamber, pull.
Yep, that's the 3
Something
steps.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
So they're a little lucky.
I should know this. I have a concealed permit.
Well, you don't need to know it because you have a concealed permit.
Oh, right. It's true. I don't need to know it because I have a concealed permit.
Yeah, a concealed permit means you get to bypass that and you're
Mm-hmm.
ready to go in Utah. Which we live in California, but we just know Utah laws really
Yes,
well.
we know. That's right.
California, you can't have more than 10. It's bad. It's dangerous, I guess, to have more than 10.
And if you live the thug lifestyle, that only applies if you get caught.
You're not wrong. Which brings me back to the election stuff of
I have a friend that tells me all the time, I carry illegally because people that carry illegally also carry illegally.
yeah, but what evidence do you have? Except for every case.
Like, wait, what? Your sense makes no sense.
But no, speaking of that, you got the people with election fraud. There's no real cases of election fraud. That's kind of the point. Do you know why we don't know what a perfect crime is?
Because it never got found out.
Perfect crime
Means nobody knows.
means nobody found out about it. There's paintings sitting in the Louvre that are fake paintings, but we don't know that because it's that good of a fake. Probably. I don't know. That's an example. But there's no cases of fraud. Yeah, because the point of fraud is to not get caught doing fraud.
But this is what kills me is it doesn't even have to be that good of a case when it's blatantly called not fraud, when they're covering up windows and not letting people watch the voting, which is, by the way, illegal. They have to allow poll watchers to watch from the other party.
And
so
kicking poll watchers out and the sheriff boarding up the jailhouse, turning it into a fort to keep the GIs from
that was the Battle of Athens, sir.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I thought
that's-
you were talking about the Battle of Athens.
No, I was actually talking about this election in Michigan.
Oh.
It's almost like
Athens,
history
Michigan?
repeats itself, like
You magnificent bastard, I read your book!
Yeah.
for those of you that have no idea what we're talking about, you can subscribe to our Patreon for $3 a month and see our lovely, see or listen to our lovely history slices.
Yes.
One that we did a few weeks ago is the Battle of Athens.
Yep. And we'll get another one done
Soon.
maybe by the end of the month. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see if we find it. The goal is to at least have one a month.
I'm gonna need a break during the at the end of all this election thing.
Well, maybe that can be the break.
just to make sure that I don't have an aneurysm or anything. My wife would be mad at me if I just keeled over. So it might be a good idea to segue into something a little less angering, like the life history of Marx or something.
Yeah. Just slightly less angering.
Slightly less angering.
To watch that just explode in front of
for
our
my
faces.
heart,
This is for me more than it
This
is for you.
me more than it is for you. We're doing this so that I have a break.
Yeah. But yeah. No, seriously, that's our goal is to
Do one a month.
at least one a month, and as more people join and show interest, then
we
we'll
can
do
increase
more than
and-
that and stuff like that.
And we can do funner things with it. And
Yeah.
dress up for it and whatever else when we have.
The more of you that pay attention and give us support in whatever way, the easier it is for us to justify to our wives to not spend as much time doing work stuff or other things because we're getting paid to do something else.
Yes.
But we're still going to default to whatever our wives want to do because we're in charge.
Right. Exactly.
My wife said so.
I do what I want as long as my wife says it's okay.
I'm the man of the house. My wife said so. Yeah.
The end goal being to score a special with Crowder. That's what I want to do one day.
That would be decent and fun.
That'd be so funny.
Uh-huh.
I would love to just hang out with those guys for just one night.
We'd probably
Just-
get like
just one.
5 words in and just laugh the rest of the time.
Probably. I don't know. I think it'd be fun to just sit there and poke fun at everybody else in the studio while they're trying to say meaningful things. Because that's not what like half the people in that studio do anyway.
You're going to try to out Crowder.
I'm going to try to out Crowder. I don't think I can because I'm not as funny as he is.
Oh, no.
But looks aren't everything, so.
If I was Crowder, I'd have a joke for that.
I'm sure he would. Yeah, or he'd probably just put me in a chokehold or something.
Yeah. I mean, there's that.
I'd be so excited for the first meeting for him to ask me if he could choke me out. That came out a lot gayer than I meant it.
Yeah, a little lot.
It did absolutely
100%.
did. Was a reference to his first meeting with
That's going
Shapiro.
at the beginning of this episode.
That's terrible. If Crowder ever hears this episode, I apologize.
Why?
I was being facetious. I don't really apologize. I said what I said.
I said what I said, and I meant what I said.
I'm trying to make you uncomfortable so you don't want to choke me out.
My innuendo was true, 100%.
Right?
Right.
Where were we?
I said we were talking about our stuff.
Oh, right. Yeah, we were talking about Marx and things.
Yeah. Yeah, Marx would take too long. As much as
Let me explain. Oh, that'll take too long. Let me summarize.
it still take too
It'll
long.
still take too long.
The summary is
that
like,
would have to be a multi-part episode.
the summary is like saying you're doing a trilogy, but you end up doing 3 trilogies.
But really only 2 of them because one of them we don't believe exists.
So like real Marxism.
Or Star Wars, whichever.
It's the same thing. No matter what, at the end you get nothing.
The best thing that describes the sequel trilogy that just ended
this is actually brilliant.
the
I love
meme
this.
is the meme from the Revenge of the Sith. You are the chosen one.
So I actually like this. So Marxism, the middle of Marxism, it looks pretty great. The middle of Marxism. It's all your happy-go-lucky stuff. The beginning's kind of sketchy because it usually involves some sort of violence, uprising, whatever, overturn,
Color revolution.
establishment stuff. The end of it is just crap. Star Wars, the middle of it, is pretty great. Pretty awesome.
You just turned Star Wars into a Marxism analogy.
You led me to this. This is why I say this is brilliant.
This is your fault.
No, this is your brilliance. Or my brilliance for spotting it.
It's good. No, I see where you're going with it. I like it.
The middle of Star Wars, the 3 trilogies, the first set that came out, the middle is really great. That's what everyone wants, Star Wars, right there. That's Star Wars.
That's Star Wars. Mm-hmm.
The episodes 1 through 3, I mean,
it's the color revolution.
It's fine. It's got some stuff that helps build up to what the middle becomes, and it has your uprising. It has some cool elements in it, but it's overrun by all this.
So where does the
garbage.
animated series fall in this analogy?
The animated series is capitalism to a T.
The animated series is what you get before it's corrupted by the rest of everything.
Exactly. And then you got episodes 7, 8, and 9 for Star Wars. And it's just this conglomeration of garbage from whoever's still in charge after the middle set is done. And you end up with nothing.
Sounds about right.
You end up with thinking to yourself, I'm going to go rewatch the Clone Wars series because that was really good.
I'm going to go
Capitalism.
reread the extended universe books so that my soul stops bleeding.
Yeah. That's what happens every time.
Pretty much.
The Mandalorian is somewhere around free market, crony free market, somewhere in there.
Somewhere around crony free market. Somewhere in between capitalism and the color revolution.
It's good. There's not a lot of actual like stuff there, but it's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
And there's one phrase that sums up the entire last trilogy for me, and that is Asian Jar Jar.
Is calling this episode Marxist Star Wars a little too far? Or
Might be.
Star Wars is Marxism. Marxism
Star
is
Marx?
Star Wars. Star Marx.
Marx Wars.
Revenge of the Communists.
Revenge of the Communists.
Done. Print.
Jeez.
I like it. I think we end with that.
That's good enough for this week.
Note there.
I like it.
Yeah. I like it. It's good.
Yeah, we avoided most of the election.
Yeah.
Nice.
The only thing I care about now really is what's happening in the 4th district of not Utah, because that's not where we live. And it's still close.
Where it's been like a day and a half and they still haven't figured out who won between Burgess and McAdams.
Yeah. Weird.
It's a close race, man.
Everything's close. I don't like it. I like it, but I don't like it.
Nothing was close until District 4.
Until everyone went to sleep.
There's that too.
Yeah. Anyway,
so
give us a like, give us a thumbs up, give us a
share,
some stars.
You know,
rating.
go check out the Patreon. Like seriously, guys, the episode in Patreon is awesome.
We put a lot of work into it.
We did.
It's going to probably play out like a cheesy, cheap-made fan film, whatever thing, because
we have no budget, so we have to do what we can for free.
Yeah, Mike's wallet is
neither
about
one
fat.
of us really knows that much about videography and production and stuff like that. So
No, I know how to make decent slideshows.
if somebody would like to come produce for us for free, we are not opposed to that.
Now accepting applications.
Now accepting applications.
Yeah. So
Yeah, so I guess we'll see you guys next week.
bye.
Have a good one.
Precisely as I have foreseen.
Do it.
I'm recording now.
Oh, I don't have the thing. I don't.
The thing, you know, the thing.
You know, the thing.